Oh, hello. My name is Trevor Salomon. I live in Northwest London. I'm a DCC ambassador, and for quite a number of years, I was looking after my wife, who was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. Her name is Yvonne, and coped pretty well until May of last year, when I realized, in fact, I'd realized a number of months before then, that my batteries were running out. And that was a dangerous thing for both me and for my wife. And so with the full agreement of my children, we made a decision that for the best interests of my wife, and probably for my own health as well, that the time had come to seek full-time professional care for my wife. And in that context, we decided that a care home would be the best option rather than have carers coming to live in our home. So my wife went into care in a nearby care home in Harrow in May of last year. So this recording is at the end of April 2020, so almost 12 months. And I have to say, from the moment my wife went into the care home, she was beyond happy, which proved a number of things. One, the timing was right, and two, the care home was the right environment for her. It's a terrific care home. It's pretty modern, so it doesn't feel like a care home. It feels very non-threatening, if I can use those words. More like a 3 or 4 star hotel. It's only 2 years old, and so it's got this lovely ambience to it. So it's very inviting for visitors, and a lovely, relaxing, bright, clean, modern environment for the residents. So I would say things were going pretty well since May 2019. And then the virus hit us, and the home locked down pretty quickly, which we as family members thought was the right thing to do. But then it immediately disconnected us from being able to visit Yvonne and see her and hug her and kiss her. And so I needed to find a means of keeping in touch with her, making sure that I knew what was going on in the home, and also making it very easy for the home to facilitate both of these things. So I got in touch with a manager and suggested that instead of he and his team, who are incredibly busy, being bombarded with inbound communications, emails, telephone calls all the time, it would be better for him, if he could do it, to set up a means to enable us to speak to our loved ones maybe once a week. So this has been facilitated via wonderful technologies like Zoom and FaceTime and Skype. And so every resident's family has a regular weekly slot to see and talk to their loved ones via the medium that I just described. So I now can speak to my wife on a Tuesday afternoon. I have 10 minutes. Now, 10 minutes doesn't sound a lot, but 10 minutes for somebody who has Alzheimer's and who is already very confused is a long time. I've noticed since the lockdown that my wife's ability to verbalize has dramatically declined. And also the other factors which are very heartbreaking are nobody's hugging her because the carers are not allowed to. She probably doesn't recognize who the carers are because they have to wear masks and other protective clothing. And so for her, the confusion and change of routine has probably had a great impact on her ability to process what's going on around her. So on the call for 10 minutes, which my kids participate in as well, and which our new grandson also is making a regular appearance, it means that at least we can see Yvonne and we can engage with her and ask her very simple yes/no type questions, which generally she can respond to. She has a carer always sitting by her. So if Yvonne can't answer a question or I want to engage with a carer, I can do that. And that's terrific. And I've always known that if I can make my wife laugh, then I haven't quite lost her, if that makes sense. And so I can still do that. I can still make her laugh. As you can see, I'm looking a bit like Father Christmas, which is not my normal appearance, but you know, it's hard to get a haircut. And I thought, well, if my hair is going to grow long, I'll grow my beard. So last time I spoke to my wife, I noticed she had purple nails. And so I told her that I was going to dye my beard purple to match her nails, and she laughed. And as long as I can keep her laughing, that means that we haven't lost her. And the longer the lockdown goes on, the longer that we can't actually visit the home, I fear the worst, that we will probably lose her, in the sense that she won't remember who we are. But there's nothing I can do about that. And I won't worry about things that I can't control. So that's the direct communication with Yvonne. Then every week, the manager now holds a Zoom call with family members of residents. It's about a half an hour, 40-minute call. The process is that he puts us all on mute. He tells us what he has to tell us about what's going on in the home, warts and all, and that includes, sadly, deaths, although clearly he doesn't name the people who've passed away. And we do feel we know how the home is coping, what problems they have. Sometimes some of the problems surface that we as family members may be able to help with. So one of the real issues going on right now is the lack of testing. A number of residents' family members have clinical research backgrounds, and so they're using their knowledge and their influence to work with the local MP and to try to get the MP to lobby to have the mobile testing units come to the home and test the carers and test the residents. And that's really, really important to all of us. So I feel the home is doing its best. They've lost a number of staff members through sickness. I'm not aware that they've lost any through death, thank goodness. But it's really, really stressful for them. And all of us as family members hugely appreciate everything that they're doing to protect and look after our loved ones in circumstances which none of us would ever have before been able to envisage. The other things that we're doing to interact with the home and our loved ones are, we can, if we want to, particularly those of us who don't live too far away, we can drop goodie bags and gifts off to our family members who are living in the home. And so occasionally I do drop sweets, maybe flowers off for Yvonne. I leave them outside the front door. They are retrieved by a member of staff, and then they bring Yvonne to a window to wave to me. So, you know, we do that sort of thing as well. We're also encouraged, if we want to arrange flowers to be delivered via email or online services. There are lots of things that we are doing to maintain the contact and at the same time be as supportive as we can for the home. So although the situation is dire in terms of where we find ourselves with this virus, and although it's out of our control to a huge extent, everything we are doing to keep in touch with the home, with our loved ones, is working. And at the moment, there's very little else that we can do. So we're all hoping and praying that at some point going forward, sooner rather than later, but who knows, that the lockdown will go. The home will be clearly deep cleaned. Everybody would have been tested. And then, and only then, will A, we be allowed to go in, and B, we will feel confident about going in and either not taking the virus in ourselves or not contracting it inadvertently through somebody living in the care home. That's as much as I can tell you today. It's the 29th of April, and maybe next time if I record another video for you all, things will hopefully have dramatically improved. Thank you very much for your time.